I am 94 years old, and I am about to tell you something that will make you uncomfortable. Good. You need to be uncomfortable right now, because comfortable is what got me here. Comfortable is what got me sitting in this chair, in this house, in this silence that never, ever ends. There is a photo frame on the table next to me. I keep it face down most days because I cannot stand to look at it. But today I turned it over. The glass is cracked right down the middle, has been for 15 years, splits the picture clean in two. On one side, my wife, on the other, my children, all of them smiling, all of them gone, not dead, just gone, gone from me, because I pushed them there. This frame used to sit on the mantel, right there above the fireplace, front and center, like a trophy, like proof that I had done something right. Now the mantel is bare. Dust sits where the frame used to stand, and the frame sits here next to me, cracked and forgotten, just like the man holding it. The room smells like stale coffee. It always smells like stale coffee, because I brew a pot every morning, and I never finish it. There is nobody to share it with. The clock on the wall ticks so loud, some nights I swear it is mocking me. Every tick is a second I cannot get back. Every tick is another moment of nothing. So here is my warning, and I need you to hear it clearly. Trust no one, not even your family. No, wait. That is what I believed my whole life, and that belief destroyed everything I had. So let me say it differently. That lie, that poisonous, rotten lie, is the reason I am alone. Let me tell you how I got here, so maybe, God willing, you do not end up in the same chair. When I was young, I was sharp. I mean razor sharp. I wore suits that cost more than most people's rent. I walked into boardrooms and the air changed. People sat up straighter. People stopped talking. I built a business from nothing, from a folding table in a garage to an office with my name on the building. And I learned a lesson early. People will take from you if you let them. Partners will lie. Friends will borrow and never repay. Employees will smile to your face and steal from your back pocket. So I made a rule. Trust no one. Protect yourself at all costs. If you never let anyone in, no one can hurt you. I thought that was wisdom. I thought I had cracked the code that every other fool was too soft to see, and I applied it to everything, not just business. I brought it home. I sat at the dinner table with my wife and my 2 children, and I watched them like a general watches his soldiers. I was looking for disloyalty, looking for signs that someone wanted something from me, my own kids, my own flesh and blood, and I kept score. I kept a mental ledger of every slight, every disagreement, every time someone did not show me what I thought was proper respect. My daughter once told me she loved me after a school play. She was 9. I said, "Love is a word people use when they want something." 9 years old. She just stared at me. I did not think anything of it at the time. I thought I was teaching her strength. I was teaching her to become me. I was teaching her to be empty. I withheld affection like it was currency. I gave approval sparingly, strategically, only when someone performed to my standard. My son brought home straight A's once, and I told him, "Good, now do it again." No hug, no pride in my voice, just a command, because I believed that warmth made people weak, and I was not going to raise weak children. My wife, God rest her, she tried. She tried for 40 years to crack me open. She would reach for my hand, and I would find a reason to pull away. She would say, "Talk to me, Henry." And I would say, "About what?" As if there was nothing inside me worth discussing. And maybe by then there was not. I confused control for connection. I thought if I held everything tightly enough, nothing could fall apart. I did not realize that squeezing that hard is exactly what breaks things. Now I sit in the same dining room where we used to have family dinners. 8 chairs around that table, every single one of them empty. Dust on the seats, dust on the plates I have not moved in years. And the silence in this room is so heavy, it has weight. It presses on my chest. It sits on me like something alive. That is what the lie gives you, an empty table and dust. Now I need to tell you about the night everything shattered, and I mean that literally. 15 years ago, my wife, my Eleanor, she got sick. Cancer, the kind that moves fast and does not care about your plans. She was in the hospital for 6 weeks. I went every day. I sat in a chair next to her bed in a room that smelled like rubbing alcohol and industrial soap, the kind of smell that gets into your clothes and stays there. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, a low hum that never stopped, and the heart monitor beeped in a steady rhythm that I can still hear when the house gets quiet at night, which is always. Her skin was so thin by the end, I was afraid to touch her hand, but I held it anyway, loosely, like I was afraid she might feel something from me that I had spent a lifetime hiding. One evening, about 3 days before the end, she looked at me with those eyes, those tired, beautiful, honest eyes that had seen through me for over 4 decades. And she said, "Call Margaret." Margaret, our daughter. We had not spoken in 5 years. 5 years because of an argument I cannot even fully remember now. Something about how I treated her husband. Something about me telling her she married beneath her. Something about control, as always. She cut me off, and I let her go. because my pride would not allow me to reach out first. I told myself she was the one who walked away. I told myself she owed me the apology. So when Eleanor asked me to call her, I felt my jaw tighten. I felt that old wall go up, brick by brick, in a matter of seconds. And I said, she chose her side. The room was so quiet after I said that. Just the beeping, just the buzzing lights, just my own breathing, and the shallow, labored breathing of the woman who had given me everything and received so little in return. And then Eleanor whispered something I will carry to my grave. She said, "You're choosing yours." 4 words that cut deeper than anything anyone had ever said to me in 94 years of living. Because she was right. In that moment, in that cold, sterile room, with death sitting in the corner, waiting patiently, I was still choosing pride. I was still choosing the wall. I did not call Margaret. Eleanor died at 3:47 in the morning. I was holding her hand. The monitors flatlined, and the beeping turned into one long, unbroken tone, and the nurse came in and turned it off. And suddenly the room was the quietest place on earth. I sat there for I do not know how long. Could have been minutes, could have been an hour. I just sat there, holding the hand of a woman who had spent her life trying to love a man made of stone. Margaret arrived 2 hours later. Someone from the hospital must have called her. She came running down the hallway. I could hear her shoes on the linoleum before I saw her. She was sobbing, deep, guttural sobs that came from somewhere primal. She stopped in the doorway of the room, and she looked at me, and I looked at her. We did not speak, not a single word. Her eyes were red and swollen and full of something I could not name at the time. Now I know what it was. It was grief, yes, but it was also the final death of hope. She had hoped, even after 5 years of silence, that there was still something left between us. And she saw in my face that there was not, because I could not give it. I did not know how. And then, in that terrible silence, the photo frame on the nightstand, that same frame I am holding right now, it slid off the edge. I do not know if my elbow bumped the table or if God himself pushed it, but it fell and it hit the floor, and the glass cracked with a sound like a small bone breaking. That sound, I hear it every single day. It is the sound of my family splitting apart. It is the sound of everything I built, all those walls, all that armor, finally doing what it was always going to do. It is the sound of a man's life breaking in half. Margaret left that morning. I never called her. She stopped trying about 3 years later. The last time she reached out was a voicemail I never returned. I still have it saved on an old phone in the kitchen drawer. I cannot bring myself to listen to it, and I cannot bring myself to delete it. That is what pride costs. Everything. It costs everything. Now here I am, 94 years old, in a recliner that is molded to the shape of my body because I sit in it all day, every day. The cracked photo frame is on the side table, never on the mantel. The mantel is bare, and it will stay bare because there is nothing left to display. No achievements, no awards, no family portraits, just empty space where a life used to be. I pick up that frame every morning. I trace the faces behind the broken glass with my finger. My Eleanor, smiling with her whole heart, the way she always did. My Margaret, just a girl in that picture, maybe 12, with her mother's eyes. My son David, who sends me a Christmas card every year with no return address, just a card, no letter, no phone number, just Merry Christmas, Dad, in handwriting I barely recognize because I was never around enough to watch it change. The phone on the wall never rings. I keep it plugged in, just in case someone remembers. Nobody does. A woman from the meal service comes 3 times a week. She is the only person who crosses that threshold. She is kind. She calls me sweetheart, and she does not know that it is the only term of affection I hear from any living soul. Some days she is the only proof I have that the world outside this house still exists. The house smells like dust and menthol and old wood. It smells like a place where time has stopped, and in many ways it has. I am not living. I am just lasting. I talk to the photograph sometimes. I say things to those faces that I should have said when they were standing in front of me. I tell Elna I am sorry. I tell her she was right. I always knew she was right. I tell Margaret I was afraid. That is the truth I could never admit. I was not strong. I was terrified. Terrified that if I opened up, if I let the walls down, someone would see that there was nothing inside worth loving. So I kept everyone out, and I proved myself right, because now there is nothing inside, just silence and regret and a cracked photo frame that mocks me every single morning. Now listen to me, you right there, you watching this on your phone, in your bed, on your lunch break, in your car. I do not care where you are. Listen to me like your life depends on it, because it does. Maybe not today, but someday. And someday comes faster than you think. Stop building walls. Stop keeping score. Stop waiting for people to earn what you should be giving freely. Love is not a transaction. Trust is not a weakness. I know you have been hurt. I know someone betrayed you, lied to you, left you. I know because it happened to me too. But I am telling you, from this chair, from this empty house, from 94 years of living proof, that the walls you build to keep out pain are the same walls that keep out everything good. You are already making my mistakes. Every call you do not return, every grudge you nurse like a campfire, every door you slam because your pride tells you that you are right and they are wrong. You are building my house, and one day you will be sitting in it alone. Trust is not the enemy. Pride is. Pride is the killer. Pride is the thing that sits on your shoulder and whispers, you don't need them, they need you. And you believe it. You believe it until the chair across from you is empty and the phone never rings, and the only voice in the house is your own, bouncing off walls that nobody else will ever touch. Call someone today. I do not care who. Your mother, your father, your brother, your daughter, that friend you have not spoken to in years over something so stupid you cannot even remember what started it. Call them. Say the thing you are afraid to say. Say, I was wrong. Say, I miss you. Say, I love you, without waiting to hear it back. Do it now, not tomorrow, not next week, now, because tomorrow is not promised, and next week is a fantasy. Do not be 94 when you figure this out. I am putting this frame face down now, same as I do every night, same as I will do tomorrow and the night after, until one morning I do not wake up and somebody finds this photograph and throws it away because nobody left alive knows the faces in it. That is my legacy, a cracked frame and an empty room. Do not let it be yours.